What's that?
To go for a 10-minute walk a day, and it'll help your mental health and all
is
this
it?
shit. Aye, they're actually promoting it
Really?
now. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that they're promoting health.
Yeah, but aye, that's it. They're probably hoping someone slips and hurts themselves.
Aye, but just make sure you're wearing rubber shoes and make sure it's in a concrete jungle.
Yeah, exactly. Aye. The last day is walking through
reason.
a city park in the advert, like, but yeah.
I get you. But there's lots of stuff, even like chemtrails. Like people talk about chemtrails. And
that's a thing. 100% that's a thing. There's a fucking, you seen the planes inside of them? Holy fuck.
I've not seen inside one.
Nah?
I've seen one malfunction in the airport.
Fuck, you did, didn't you? And it was just blasting out
all the chemical.
Nah, so inside, so if you replace the seats and people with chemical tanks, just the whole fucking plane. Whole thing.
Wow.
Whole fucking thing. And folks say it's not a real thing in that. There's literally kind of like a NASA badge. Can the cunts that do it?
Do you know where it started?
No,
I
don't.
So
I don't actually.
NASA produced a document. Like, let me give you some information on it. NASA in 1986 created a whole public information about geoengineering. Now, the grand plan, if you're looking to go, say we want to go to Mars.
Yep.
This is what's laughable about climate change and all this sort of stuff. When you go to a planet, like, you want to terraform the planet.
Yeah, to make the atmosphere to suit yourself.
Yeah. The terraforming means that you have got the ability to make substantial changes to the components of a planet.
Yep. The atmosphere.
To such an extent that you can essentially edit what's there, create more atmosphere, change different factors.
For us as well, for starts.
So NASA in 86 said, look, we're going to do, this is like geoengineering. So if you wanted to control
the weather,
the weather, this would be how you would do it. Now, how they did it was they were going into the sky using planes and dispersing chemicals, mainly silver nitrate, and they were using this to adjust the weather. So the idea, like, it's all benign to start with.
Yeah.
It's like, in the event of a drought,
we can make it rain.
We can make it rain.
They do it now in America all the time.
They do in Dubai.
Yeah.
Like Dubai, they seed the clouds all the time because it's in a desert. So people go, look, we need, you need water, you need rain.
Yeah.
So how do you do it? And they seed the clouds. The Russians used to do it on, like the Soviet Union used to do it when they were having their parades. Yeah. They would go and, because so you can essentially control the weather. You can pick which weather you want.
Yeah.
And you could, the Russians didn't want any rain. So they would go and make sure all the clouds were at the sky so they could have a nice parade. Yeah. And meanwhile, people are like, chemtrails don't exist. That's nonsense. Like, you've seen the big, massive streak in the sky.
Oh, you see them. Like, what, giant clouds form hatch markings? They don't. No. Do you know what I mean? And like fucking, but even in America, they know the way the weather flows. Yep. If they need it to rain, however many miles down the road, they've got these big factories that just blast steam, chemical steam. Right, they will blast all this fucking moisture into the air and it'll rain 20 miles down the road. They've been doing it for fucking years.
I mean, even if you look at, for instance, like that was one of the things that, if you look at, say, the Vietnam War, the whole idea with napalm, other than setting people on fire, which was an unfortunate side effect.
It's banned now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's considered just heinous. There's things like there's things that are banned. Whether they're used is another question. But things that they banned was like chemical warfare, biological warfare.
Mustard gas and shit was banned.
It's just like, look, there's a point where you go, look,
enough.
This is heinous.
Aye.
And the whole idea when you get something like Agent Orange and things like that was as if we can destroy. If we can destroy the enemy's food supply, so like if you look, for instance, World War II, tactics were bomb their factories, bomb the roads, bomb their bridges, bomb the railways. So if we can destroy the infrastructure, they can't move things where they need them, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on. And this is the Germans did that in terms of all the boats that were coming across the Atlantic. Let's sink the boats, cut off the supply, make it difficult. So it's always been part of a tactical play where if you go, look, if we can disrupt the supply chain or the supplies or the infrastructure, that's really good. Now, what if you wanted to do that via a drought? Like you wanted to make sure that your enemy got no rain and they couldn't raise any crops, or they didn't have drinking water, or they didn't have, or you were, monsoon season. you just battered them with weather. That'd be a pretty good tool. That'd be a really good tool. And it's like, look, so you've got clear evidence that they used it in World War II in terms of the strategy. We want to disrupt the infrastructure and the ability for the enemy to get supplies, commodities and all that sort of stuff, fuel, food, water, materials, all that type of thing. And then you look at the Vietnam War where they went to chemical and, essentially scorched earth. Where they're going, look, we want to burn their crops and we don't want to destroy the agriculture so that they can't do it again. Can't do anything. Poison the water, poison the food. So a natural progression would be, well, so you've got this technology that can influence the weather and NASA's publicly said that they have it. The Russians have used it and Dubai use it. And you don't think they might want to maybe apply that anywhere? You go, nah.
But this is the thing, like you say, public information, and folks that like, they can't do that. They can and they have for decades. Not a couple of years, decades. Long fucking time.